T of n equals to T of n minus 1 plus of theta of 1, where the base case where we just have n equals to 1 is going to be theta of 1. Because n equals to 1, we just return 0 or 1, right? That is the first, we just return 1. So that is the case where we have factorial of 1 or factorial of 0, the base cases. Okay. So we know how to find out the recurrence relations for merge sort. We know how to find the recurrence relations of insertion sort, binary search, factorials, and other problems. Now, these recurrence relations usually look like something like this, where we have T of n equals to T of n minus 1 plus whatever, or we have T of n equals to T of n by 2 plus whatever, or 2 times Tn by 2, whatever. Now that we have these recurrence relations, now we need to figure out what these actually mean. So what is the time complexity of these things? I need the answers in big O, big theta, big omega, and in those notations, right? Recurrence relations give me an indication of what the function does, but does not tell me what the actual complexity of this algorithm is. So in order to find the complexity, we have to solve these recurrence relations and get the actual complexity. So we have two potential ways of finding the recurrence relations. Two potential recurrence relations. One is a T of n equals to A times T of n minus B plus Fn, or we have T of n equals to A times Tn by B plus of Fn. So either it is n minus B or it is going to be n by B. So essentially what it means is either we are reducing our n by a fixed amount every time we call this function, or we are dividing our n by some fixed amount every time, right? So that is the difference between two of these recurrence relations. It cannot be anything else. It can be, but usually these are the two forms. Okay, so in order to solve these recurrence relations, we have these three possible methods. The first method is recursion tree or iteration method. The second method is substitution method, and the third method is master method. So first we are going to look at recursion tree. It is more of an intuitive way of finding the recursion solution. The second one is substitution method, but we will talk about this at the last. And the third one is master method. That master method is the easiest way to compute the recurrence value or your time complexity. But again, master method does not apply to all possible cases. So we will look at all of these three methods one by one. So first, let's look at recursion tree. So we have recursion tree where we basically try, it applies to functions where we have recursion, right? And it only applies to cases where we have recursion, and also we have to sort of draw the recursion tree and then figure out and count the number of times we are executing something. So here we have two possible functions. Both of these functions compute the power of x raised to the power of n. So both of these functions compute x raised to the power of n. So the first function here is something called POW that returns an integer that takes in two numbers x and n. If n equals to 0, it returns 1 because anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. The second one is if n equals to 1, it returns x. And then it basically calls itself again in that return statement, where it basically calls itself pow x of n by 2 times pow x of n by 2. That is the first function. The second function is again the same declaration, again the same base cases, but if n is a power of 2, it returns pow of x times x, comma n by 2. And if it's an odd number, it returns x times x, comma base of n by 2 times x again. So given these two functions, can someone tell me what is the recurrence relation for function 1 and what is the recurrence relation for function 2? Note that the first function calls the function twice and the second function has an if condition. that either calls this function or calls this function. So what would be the recurrence relation of these two functions? Would this be the same, or would, if they are different, what are they? So I want you guys to type out the recurrence relations of function number 1 and function number 2. Analyze this code and tell me what is the recurrence relation for these things. Remember how you divide the subproblems, how you combine the subproblems, and what is the base case complexity. And also tell me if you have no idea what I'm talking about. I have one, I don't know, but I have one not sure and two n. Remember everyone, it is going to look similar to something similar to this particular thing, where we have T of n equals to something. Usually it is going to look like some constant times T of n by v plus of some function f of n, right? So I have 1 equals to 2 Tn by 2 plus 1, and 2 equals to Tn n by 2 plus 1. 2 Tn by 2 plus theta of 1, yes. And what about 2? Tn by 2, Tn by 2 plus 1. So some of you are answering. Can someone tell me? I have no idea what the other students are talking about. And all of you who have answered are correct. You are correct. In a sense. Not in a sense, you are correct. So everyone understand? Okay, I finally get out. I don't get it. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else who doesn't get it? And as I said, it's fine if you don't get it. I mean, you need to just tell me. So I see that some of you are kind of shy and think that you're looking like an idiot. So let me tell you one thing. Are you guys supposed to know the course material before you take this course? You are not, right? I am supposed to teach you these things. So if you don't know the answers, just tell me that you don't know the answers so that I can understand where you are right now. And you, again, if you submit a wrong answer, you're not going to look like an idiot or whatever. It's fine. I mean, I need to explain to you guys this thing. So again, so let's do one thing step by step. So yes, everyone is sort of correct. So let's take the first function here. Now, oh, come on. Now we have our base cases. Let's forget about our base cases for now. We have this particular thing where we are calling our own function twice. So that should give you an indication that we are basically doing something where we are dividing our problem into two parts and then combining them. So we have 2 times something here. And then we are calling this function with x of n by 2 and x of n by 2. That means that we are subdividing our problem into 2 halves, n by 2 and n by 2, where each half is going to be of t of n by 2. So each half is t of n by 2 and we are doing it twice. So that gives us 2 times t of n by 2. And then we have our combining case. Our combining case is multiplying those 2 answers together. So multiplying those 2 answers is essentially multiplying 2 numbers. And multiplying 2 numbers is always going to be a constant complexity. And for that, we just have theta of 1 because it's a constant complexity. Then we have the second function here. Here we are either calling this function or we are calling this function depending upon whether it's an even number or an odd number. In that case, we are always calling this function once. We are not calling it twice. So our subproblem size is not going to be, our subproblem size is T of n by 2, but we are not doing it twice, we are doing it once. So we just have T of n by 2 as depending upon whether we call the if condition part or the else part, right? We are just doing it once. And then for both of them, we see that the complexity of combining both of those solutions, for the first one, it is power x times x of n by 2. And the second one is power x times x n by 2 times x. Both of them have a single complexity of constant complexity. So we have theta of 1. So for the first algorithm for finding the power of something, so x raised to the power of n, we have the complexity of 2t n by 2 plus theta 1. And for the second function, we have t n by 2 plus theta 1. So all of you that have answered are correct. All of you that have not answered, do you guys understand what's going on? Why the first one, the main important thing is why the first one has 2 times n by 2 and why the second one just has t times t of n by 2. Yes, Taha, you are correct. We only need to focus on the value of n because depending upon n, our complexity changes. Right, because if you see x is constant, but we need to iterate through the number of values of n in order to find the power. Again, for arrays, for sorting something or finding the Fibonacci number, n plays a role. N is essentially the only variable thing that we are changing across our function calls. So we only focus on n. Does that make sense? For merge sort, n is the size of your array. For Fibonacci numbers, n is the number of Fibonacci numbers that we are generating. For factorial, n is the factorial of the number that we are generating. So does everyone understand here why the first function has 2t n by 2 and the second function has t n by 2? Any confusions? I think Matt had some issues. What about you, Matt? Cool. Okay. Now, essentially the time complexity of these two functions are 2t n by 2 plus theta 1 and the other one is t of n by 2 plus theta 1. So now that we have these complexities, we now need to figure out how to get the bigger complexity, big theta and things like that. So we are going to talk about merge sort first. So merge sort complexity is 2t n by 2 plus theta of n, where each time we are separating the array into halves and combining them in a merge function where the combination function requires theta of n, right? Okay. So let's look at solving this particular recurrence relations, but in terms of recurrence or recursion trees, right? So we have Tn equals to 2Tn by 2 plus of Dn, where Dn is some time complexity of merging those two arrays. So initially we have an array of size n. We separate that into two halves. And in order to combine them together, we need a time complexity of d of n, right? Then for further recursion calls, we separate those arrays again into Tn by 4, Tn by 4, Tn by 4, Tn by 4. So 4 Tn by 4 subparts. We're merging each of those quarters. So two of those quarters require Dn by 2 time complexity.